Hey everybody, so we're going to be doing part 6 today for the 2000 Toyota 4Runner brake parts install. This is just going to be a walk around and a talk. Some unfortunate things happened yesterday and there was no way to film it. So please stick around, check out the video, and I'll see you there. I also want to thank my wife for helping with the brakes, for her holding the camera, because if my wife wasn't holding the camera, a lot of the brake part install video you guys probably would have never have seen, because I would have just done the work and got it done with. So shout out to my wife for holding the camera, and also going and grabbing me tools when I needed some tools. And all around helping. I love you, dear, and thank you guys for watching, and thank you for helping, hun. So just a little added piece of information I wanted to add to the video. I forgot to add it, but I have like 30 videos to edit, so this will be probably on part 6. Thank you guys for watching. Alright, so this is just going to be, part 6 is just going to be a recap. I got the truck down, it drives, it stops, it brakes nice and smooth. Yesterday when I was about ready to bleed the brakes and everything else, I had the truck on the jack stand still. There was no tires on it. It was still in the position that I was working on it throughout the video. And the system, because it was open for so long, it was airlocked. So I had to bleed the master cylinder. I had to I spent an hour and probably 40 minutes pumping the brakes. So, you know, pump, hold, brake, crack the bleeders. I had a friend come over and help me. My wife was helping as well. But it took an hour and like 45 minutes total to finally get air to each corner it needed for each tire. So I wasn't gonna record it. And the other issue is that the GoPro, I plugged it in to charge it and came back about an hour later. Was just cleaning up all the trash and everything, and the GoPro just randomly decided to start uploading. So it's not like I could pick up the camera and start recording again. That was another unfortunate event that happened. It didn't stop uploading until probably about, I don't know, noon today. So, and it's almost 5 in the afternoon. It's 4:16 in the afternoon. So it took a long time to upload all the videos that I had done, because I think there's like 15 or 20 videos for this install. It's got .4 in it. All the brake lines were put in. I could not record the rear brake line being installed because I ended up having to move this spare tire under the truck. And I spent 40 minutes, almost an hour, trying to get one little brake clip out, because the brake clip had to be hammered up towards the truck, and I had a diff and a couple A-arms in my way, so it was just too much of a hassle to try to find and put a camera in there, especially the whole time I was using both my hands, so it's not like I would have been able to hold the camera. And so I did take photos, and I posted those photos on Instagram of the rear brake line being installed. I did post some random photos throughout the repair yesterday. The front's all done, the rear's all done, everything is sealed. You can actually see the rotor, or the drums, through the rear rims before they were black. But yeah, it took a while. It literally took, I think it was about 40 minutes of brake pumping, if I remember correctly, just to get the fluid to the passenger rear. That took the longest. And then when I finally got to the driver's side rear, it took about 15-20 minutes to finally pull fluid through. And then the passenger side front took about 5 or 6 minutes, just a couple brake pumps. And then the driver's side took I think it was 2 or 3 minutes max. 4 or 5 brake pumps, and it was dripping fluid. So all 4 of them are bled. After we got done, and my wife cleaned the rims and the tires the best she could. My wife asked me to teach her how to torque the lug nuts on this truck, because she didn't know. She's always seen me do it. So I handed her the snap-on torque wrench and told her she needed to do a cross pattern. She got it in her head it's like a Jewish cross, so I told her, yep, run with that if that's how you remember how the pattern works. Taught her a couple of tricks and pointers. It's easier to torque if you're pushing down, so it's easier that the torque wrench is horizontal, not vertical. She hardly wanted to put she wanted to lift the tire and the rim and put it on the truck. She got 4 seconds in, realized she couldn't lift it, and then asked me to do it. But just a short little update. Everything got installed. There is no leaks on any of the brake line fittings I installed. There's no leaks on the drums, the calipers, the wheel cylinders, nothing. Everything's still clean. Just happened to be that the wheel cylinders blew in the back and was causing chaos in the back. The .4 brake fluid went in perfectly fine. Yeah, I feel a difference with the .4 brake fluid, especially since the system was completely flushed. The fluid is a lot more smooth. This truck has never ever had smooth brakes. Like, you always had a spongy brake pedal, and it's just the brake booster and the way the system was set up when the truck was made. It has a newer brake booster, it has a newer brake master cylinder. It's just, when you replace parts on the vehicle with OEM original parts, the parts don't matter. It always feels the same. And I even had an aftermarket brake booster on this truck at one point in time. And every time I replaced the calipers, drums, every time I replaced the pads, every time I replaced anything major, I had to open the system. Every time the system was reprimed and the brakes were bled, it always had a stupid spongy pedal. Now, today, and last night, because after it was dropped back on the ground under its own weight, I took it to Santan. We went to Walmart and because my wife helped me all day long. I'm like, you know what, let's go get some pizza, let's go get some food, and we got home, cooked, and then went to bed. But it was extremely smooth. The pedal moves really smooth. You don't feel the sponginess anymore, and I think that has to do with the braided steel line flex cables that I bought for the brakes. Replacing them old cracked flex brake lines probably was the main cause of the sponginess. And I checked out those lines. I might do another video, a part 7, and just show what I took off, and maybe, you know, show the cracks on the lines. If you guys want to see the damage to the rotor and the damage to the lines and everything, let me know. But all in all, everything went well. It took from 7:45 a.m. all the way to 11:30 or 10. I think it was like 10:45 when we finally finished and the truck was on the ground. Actually, I think it was 11 o'clock. So I think it was like 7:45 to 11 p.m. It took all day to do this job, but the reason it took all day was because I was showing you guys, and I was recording it for you guys. Recording makes everything 10 times longer. It does. Because you gotta set up the camera, you gotta get your camera angles, and it always feels like it takes forever when you're recording. The last time I did this job, job where I replaced everything, including the flex brake lines, I replaced the flex brake lines then with the original flex brake lines from Toyota, but it took me, I think it was like 40 minutes. It's just, and then I had all the tires removed. I removed the spare tire and everything. I'm like, you know what, since the truck is still sitting on the stands, let's clean the tires. And, you know, for whatever reason, they came out splotchy. Not really sure why. You know, they were washed with soap and water. But I wanted to make sure that the back of all the rims were completely clean, because I didn't want the brake dust sitting on the rims and just coating the new calipers or the new drums with old brake dust. So it needs a bath. So thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon for future updates. Go check out my Amazon affiliate links, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.